Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the breakdown. I'm Tone, and I know it's another video just well, the day after I've posted one. I'm back into it again, hopefully. Well, we'll just see how things go, but there just seems to be a fair bit to talk about right now. Stuff that's pretty important and is going to affect our respective futures. So let's have a look at a number of things that materialized since I spoke to you last. And first, actually, before I move forward with all of that, shout out to Carer Forever. Thank you for your comment. Really appreciate the support. I'm sure there's some that watch my videos and I never know who actually watches them, and it's very gratifying to hear back something from those that do watch, and for anyone else that you know, wants to leave a comment or indeed ask a question, something that they'd like me to cover, especially in these tumultuous kind of times, even though they'd like us to think that things are going to calm down now that we've got a Biden president, and which is still not locked in yet, but we'll leave that alone for now. So the main thing I want to talk about, and we'll keep this video fairly short, the main thing I want to talk about today is last night, or for us last night, so for Monday, first day back, first trading day back for the American people. What do we have? We've got news about a vaccine. And the markets just go, hey, we're already happy about a Biden win. They're already locking that away, and they might well be right, but whatever. But boy, markets went crazy, and you know, confidence, it's always an example of what confidence looks like when markets are booming. But they went crazy. All except the tech stocks. And I know I'm probably being a little bit technical and share tradey and whatever at the moment, but it's the general view when things like this happen. The general public is also pretty much on board with this stuff, so they go, awesome, vaccine, 90% effective or something like that, and then they go, yep, awesome. We're still a while away yet. It's not guaranteed. And I mean, the market here in Australia went gangbusters early on and then pretty much gave it all back again. Like, so went back to barely higher than it started the day at, or finished yesterday at. So that gives an idea, at least, of what maybe the smarter people are thinking, because they know that the mass media and the news and everything like that, it's just out and it's just fluff. Until we've got a vaccine, it's just fluff. And what concerns me is just how sharply these markets fluctuate. I mean, it's good for those that are trading it and making money out of it, but it's a good viewpoint into the wider world of how all this stuff really does play on the anxieties of people. Now, I've got quite a few friends that this has been pretty difficult for them during this time. I mean, real life stuff, it's been difficult for them. Made difficult by other circumstances, but just, I've been lucky it hasn't affected me too badly. Anyway, I wanted to cover what I was sort of talking about yesterday, when I did the video yesterday, about the gold and silver aspect of any portfolio, which is a hedge against the value of your dollars going down, but something that's easier to put back into dollars at any given time when you need to use it, even if the value went down for a short period of time. These things are longer term value protectors. And of course, they do that a lot better if you buy the dips. So when they go down, they had I mean, silver got smashed by about 6% last night alone, just on consumer confidence and everything like that, based on, hey, the vaccine. All for a vaccine. Let's just put things into perspective. All for a vaccine that treats a virus that 99.7, or it could be higher than that, survival rate. And here I am, I'm still wearing this mask. It beggars belief, it really does. But we're beholden to this stuff, and it's only going to increase how much restriction we're under and what we must do to comply in order to be able to go back to some sort of normal. COVID normal, they're coining that phrase, and it's not going away, folks. But just be aware that we're going to have more and more things that we must comply with moving forward. Again, I don't really know what 2021 looks like. Who could have predicted 2020? I was aware that things were going to come to a head at some point. We were well overdue for a share market correction, some sort of, thing that gets thrown at the markets and everything like that. But yeah, we'll just have to leave 2021 alone because we don't know. But we do want to be prepared for, now that we've got 2007, 2008, 2009, 10, all that period of time we can look back on. We can see this sharp shift in economic shutdown and everything like that at the start of this year. These things, and just how easily and quickly they can be put into practice, that they can happen or they can jump out at you, it should engender at least some concern, not fear, but concern on what actually you can do to protect yourself. So when gold and silver have these dips like they have, they're the chances to take advantage. Now, I wouldn't suggest going all in and going crazy. I did that in the past and ended up selling some, because it doesn't pay you an income. It's a hedge against the value of your money becoming less. So that's important to remember. This isn't a get-rich scheme. This is to protect yourself. So just wanted to cover that. Make sure that you understand I'm not advocating for gold and silver being your be-all and end-all, hedge the bet. It's not a bet necessarily. It's a educated position that you want to be taking. Okay, now just leaving that for now. I want to break something else down for you. A few months ago, when we went into this new lockdown and this mask mandate started up, if you look back on my older videos, you'll know that I did a series for a month or a bit more, the mask mandate nope videos. I was talking about Melbourne being the only place in the world to have done what they were doing. Well, today on the news, or I guess it was, for us it was last night, so it was Monday for Europe, or for England. Boris Johnson gets up and starts to fully advocate for mask, well, not necessarily a mask mandate yet, but definitely instigating a plan for increased testing. Now, if you're a Victorian, you know all about this excessive testing numbers. Again, I'm dubious about what those tests are. The genomic testing, if you heard about that, look, that was brought up months ago by Daniel Andrews, where they check how particular viruses, or this particular virus, affects certain genomes or genes. gee, you got to start to ask questions when you see stuff like that and hear stuff like that. You really do. If you're not asking questions about that, yeah. So when I heard Boris Johnson talking about this increased testing and all of that sort of thing, you know, we just had our winter, and all of what Melbourne's just been through, as I said, Melbourne was the testing ground. What will people comply with? What will people accept? How many people will step up and get tested just so that they can get this under control? And then be able to go about their business and back to normal. Testing ground. Now it's being implemented elsewhere. So whatever happens over in Europe and America, and just how much of what happened here starts to happen elsewhere, it starts to open up, you know, what does next year really look like for us here? Because this stuff's going to drag on over there for sure. How that affects markets, how that affects the world economy, just after the shock that we had from the first lot. What's it look like later? These are questions that need to be asked. You need to be prepared. Don't panic. There's no point to panic. But it's also no point just going, oh well, governments have got it under control. So as soon as you start thinking like governments have got it under control, before you know it, the government's probably got you under control. Government serves the people, not so much anymore. So just be aware of that. Let's just understand also, jumping all the way back, all over the place a little bit, jump back to the Biden-Trump thing. When Trump got in, spend 4 years, it's all okay to make him look like a fool. He probably did a reasonable amount of, you know, good job doing that to himself sometimes, but don't we all? But he was more real than what you can say an Obama president or a Biden president is or would be. And I'd rather deal with someone on face value than reading from cue cards and following what they're told to say. I want to hear what they really think. Thanks very much. So yeah, it's interesting that it's okay for them to bag on Trump for 4 years, but as soon as Biden gets in, well, what does the media say? That's the best thing since sliced bread. Back to some sort of normalcy. Oh, excellent. Yeah, well, this year's been far from normal. And you think that everything's all over just because, you know, Biden and the Democrats get into power in America. Oy. Anyway, I digress. Look at everything that you can. Make sure that you're preparing yourself as much as you can, and when you see markets in particular, if you're new to the markets like gold and silver markets and that, and they're a little bit, you know, you're not real sure, do your research on it, find the good places to buy those if you are inclined to protect yourself in that way, and on the days when it just looks like it's really, really weak and you've got that, you know, 10% cash that you've got, you start to drip that in. You start to buy on those dips as it's available to you. Don't go silly about it. Don't get tons and tons of it. You just want to have some that if things go really pear-shaped, you're protected. There's no point trying to build the boat when the rains already start. Yeah, that's the point. Anyway, want to thank you very much for joining me on the breakdown. If you like this video, please leave a like, leave comments, as I say. I really appreciate those. If you think this video is worth sharing with people, that's great. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to subscribe, then please subscribe. And until next time, take care, God bless, see you in the next videos. Bye for now.